Good evening. The Mayor and City Council of the City of Columbus welcomes you to our special call meeting today, September the 12th, 2023, to discuss and hopefully finish up our 2024 budget. Mr. Bush, would you please open us in prayer?
Again, oh gracious Father, we thank you right now, God, for the opportunity that you have given us for life. God, we thank you for the health and strength that you allowed us to have. And God, we ask you that you continue to keep your covering around the city of Columbus, God, and our mayor and our council, God. And we do thank you and we do love you. These things we do ask in your darling son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Council, we will begin the discussions again of our 2024 budget. We have an proposed expenditures of $23,849, and a proposed revenue of $26,721,110. That's a mouthful. So what we've been trying to do over the last several days is fit in all the needs of the city within that proposed budget. Y'all have been requesting detailed information on some of the different areas that people have asked for. We've discussed everything from looking closer at the questions of the IT budget, a 3% across the board raise, cost of living raise for our employees, to equipment in almost every department. There are many needs and limited resources to do them with. So what we're trying to do, and we need to do it if at all possible, the state of Mississippi says that we have to have it done by September the 15th. Is that correct, Council?
That's what I'm looking at in this accounting guide, and it does say the budget has to be adopted by the 15th.
But it has to, because we have to post it in several places. We're supposed to be finished with it by the end of the month, obviously, to start our new fiscal year October 1st. So today is the 12th, so we have 3 days until the 15th, and we need to allow time for Mr. Brigham, Ms. Garrett, and Ms. Mitchell to finish up the expansive documentation that this becomes. So in an effort to try to make this move as smoothly and quickly as possible, Ms. Garrett has given each of you a list. I think most of y'all were requesting information on some of these items that start with each department. Everything on this list is currently not in the budget. So what we can do is if y'all are in favor, we can start just going down this list, starting with finance and administration. Would y'all like to do it that way, or do y'all have another idea? Does that work for y'all?
I'd like to know where, from Ms. Brigham, Mr. Brigham, and Ms. Garrett and Ms. Mitchell, where are we at for balancing the budget? I understand what you asked for us to do, but where are we at right now?
Right now, we have $500,000 available to allocate.
Sir?
You have $500,000 available to allocate.
That with the 3%?
That is not with the 3%. That's just $500,000. The 3% would be a little over $300,000 of that $500,000.
Okay, so
That would leave you $200,000
then that's what we're looking at, being 200,000.
if you decided to give the 3% raise.
Did we not decide that last time? Yeah, we decided that last time to give the.
We didn't vote on it, but that was kind of the consensus.
Consensus. Well, yeah, you're right, man. We didn't vote, but that was a consensus. So I think that would be the starting point with the 200.
Okay?
And we ask everybody to be, bring your good mind with you today, your Sunday mind. Bring your Sunday mind. So I'm gonna get some and some not. So don't hold it against Mr. Beard if you don't get nothing now. Okay?
In this budget though, that's what creating these 8 positions, is that correct?
No.
Or is that not in this budget?
I know two of the positions are in the budget. The city planner and the grant administrator. Those are in the budget. Those are in the planning departments.
And how much is that?
The salary for the,
120, 120, 130,000, 120.
Can it not be, I'm sorry, I'm taking your question.
Go ahead.
Can it not be taken out and given to the planning department that we already have, that George is part-time in? Because don't we gotta hire somebody for that for full-time soon?
those would be in that area.
So why we can't put that over in there?
I'm not sure what you said.
Mr. George, don't you got how your stuff set up?
Well, actually, personally, I think y'all need a planner. Someone that can start guiding to them on the direction they want in a systematic way and know the trends of what other cities are doing in terms of planning that would progress us. And that's not me, but I will fill in as like what Travis was doing and assist wherever I can. I do think you need a planner.
We don't have anything left in salary in that department?
Building off of what was left in the, last position that happened to deal, which was about
Yeah,
$35,000.
it was like $30,000 or something. That wasn't it. That wasn't used this year because of the Travis vacancy.
Well, it's just, my thoughts is that, we creating additional positions when we have roofs down at the crime lab that need to be replaced. They leaking, mold in there, trying to work. About the damaged equipment in there, we want to create positions when we need to be trying to fix some of this stuff that we have going on now. We've been doing without this stuff for, the last 2 years, 3 years. One more year won't hurt, so we can take care of some of these problems in-house before we go and trying to create all these different, positions, and being top-heavy. We want to maintain, every department comes up here and say, we want to try to pay people so we can keep them. But then we want to create additional positions, and we're still not paying the people that we already have a good salary. So we got to look at this a little,
Well, I mean, I'm all for you taking them out if that's what you prefer to do, but I think you need to not be short-sighted in the view that city planners and folks that are working with grants are what help move cities forward where there is more income so we can do all those other things. But if you think taking those two positions out will solve the major problems, then you're not going to hear any grief from me.
Yeah, I'm not being sarcastic in saying that, if I think that that's gonna take it out, you don't have to be sarcastic with it. And think that it's gonna solve the problem, our whole problem, because we all know that it's not gonna solve our whole problem.
No, I never said
I'm
it
just
would solve
making,
the whole
I'm just
problem.
making, suggestions, and we're here talking. I'm not saying one way or another whether we need to take them out right now or what, but I'm just saying that we need to start looking at, taking care of in-house stuff first before we start doing a lot of other stuff.
Mayor, my question to you is if we couldn't get both, is one of those positions, in your opinion, more valuable? And maybe this is even a George question.
I would think that, I'll answer it and then George can answer it. I think if you choose one, I think obviously we need someone to manage grants.
Yeah, let me just, can I comment on that?
Sure, and you disagree too?
No, I just got a letter from the FEMA. Based on our 2020 audit results, finding number 11, we're on suspension with FEMA until we improve the internal controls over grant administration in the city. And they communicated with all the other federal agencies. So at this point in time, if you were going to weigh the two of those, we get a lot of money from federal grants right now. And the 2021 audit is going well in the federal grants area, the single audit, but without a grant administrator, I think that FEMA will be reluctant to put us back in, take the suspension away. So I think right now, if you had to weigh the two of them, I would say the grant administrator is the most important.
Well, in the past though, we told that we don't have the budget ready You know, just like the Main Street had to apply for this, grant from MDOT. So even having a grant, if we don't have our audit ready, then we just paying somebody to apply for something that we can't get anyway because we don't have our audit ready.
But so for example, MDOT's a good example, but MDOT reinstated us this year based on the results of the 2020 audit. So, I
So
mean,
then why do we need Main Street to apply for that,
We
One
didn't ask
Kevin.
them to, they did that on their, that was Main Street grant.
yeah, no, we
They didn't
had,
have to do it for
we had
us.
when
the
I met with
county,
Kevin though, he said that we didn't,
that-
we were still waiting on our audit, so we might not be able to apply for it, so that's why Main Street was applying for it.
I'm not sure why they applied for it. I do know that we had the county apply for the Fifth Street project because we were on suspension at that time, and
We
we've
didn't
been
have
removed
2020
from
audit,
suspension now.
Right. Okay, so we're not on suspension now?
No, not with them, no.
I've been, well, Mayor, you know, I'm very adamant about this. I've been riding you and Ms. Garrett pretty hard about the grant writer. And I'm seem to agree with my colleague, Mr. Green, that we have to go with one along with Mr. Brigham. I would prefer for it to be the grant writer because from the department head standpoint, that can help everybody. This is a position that can help every department here in the city of Columbus. So if you need some help with something now, you would have somebody to fall back on. So I would be inclined, if we're gonna do one, to go with the grant writer.
Yeah, that's what I said. That would be the top choice.
What's the salary for it? 65, man.
For the grant,
50.
50,000 for the
And
grant.
we'll be able to find a
Ms.
grant
Garrett,
writer
what's
for
your
50K?
position?
We'll be able to find a legitimate
What's your
grant writer.
position?
Honestly, I'm 50-50 because I think we also need a planner just as much as we need a grant writer, because I also think that it advances the city. So I'm 50-50 on it, but I don't disagree that a grant writer will be needed.
But could we not do other options for grant writers that can write and be paid?
It depends on the grant writer because you do have some who will take a percentage from the grant,
Right.
or they would give a flat fee, but it also depends on how the grant is set up, if it will even allow for that.
But let me say this too, it's a grant manager position, not just a writer. We need somebody to manage the grants as they're going through the different steps because they're very complicated. And if you don't follow every step correctly, you could end up losing money from the city. So it would be somebody that, and no, 50 is not a high salary for that.
And we have not taken advantage of the grant writer at Golden Triangle Planning and Development. She not only writes grants, she helps to manage and report, which is significant.
We're going to meet with them after we get through the budget this year.
Okay.
That's the group we overpaid last year.
So if we just asking, if they already do that, then why haven't they been managing the ones if we already paying them? Is that not what we paying them for?
No, that's a different.
We don't pay
You have
them
to,
for
you have to
that.
engage them to do
But we
the
can
work.
utilize a grant writer through there,
Yes, we can.
and will they charge us 50K?
No.
No, we pay them 8.
And that's for.
No, that was for something else. That was for agent. Yeah, that had nothing to do with grants.
So today, on something like this, would we make a motion to hire one of these positions and then knock that off, or we're waiting to the whole thing?
And use that salary for the planner toward building maintenance?
Or whatever? Does this need to be in a motion now so we can get that done, or is this in a full package at the end?
However you prefer.
I mean, we going forward.
All right, I make a motion that we, for this year, hire the grant writer and nix the planner position.
We have a motion to take the city planner out of the budget for this year, but to keep the grant manager.
And what are we positioning at
Second.
50,000 or what?
It was at 50,000
50,000?
Well,
or 60.
with benefits and everything, the cost is 61 to 77.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hands. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
So the city planner position was how much, I'm sorry?
70.
All right, so that goes back into so now we're at 570. Unless I guess we need to decide,
You got about 300,000 now.
300.
So any other positions in the,
With the 3% increase, you have about 300,000 allocated.
so those were the only 2 positions that have been added?
Right.
Or were there other positions? Only 2 that's added. The rest of them, they're just asking for.
Do we give her 100,000?
What?
IT?
Yeah.
So I noticed there was a lot of salary increases requested. If we voted on that 3%, that would certainly go into that, correct? That would certainly offset some of the increases that are being asked.
I thought we had just decided it was a 3% across the board.
Well, 3% across the board, but I think that we still need to look at the police department because we wanted to, change a couple of starting salaries on the, patrol officers to try to recruit. Is that not correct?
How about the next decision would be, are we fixing to give 3% across the board? That would decide whether we're fixing to spend 300,000 or not, right?
Yes.
We haven't even decided that. So we haven't even voted, and we're talking 3% for every employee, is that what? Well, we hadn't even got a motion. I'll sit back and listen to the motion.
So y'all need that in the motion? 3%?
Yeah, if you would like to do a 3% payroll increase across the board for employees, we need a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion that we, go ahead with the, 3% pay raise across the board
Second.
for all employees.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hands. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
So I got a question for that. I know my math ain't always mathing. So we got Patrol 1. He was asking for starting at 39,500, increasing to 40,000. But with that 3%, it's actually going higher than 40.
No, they won't get a 3% because that's a new, that's a starting, that's what they started. So you're not gonna give them the 3% because they starting.
What? You
They
say
start
year
there.
0 to 2. So if I got a 2-year officer here making 39,000, he's about to get a 3% increase,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Oh, at the 0 to 2.
So he'll be making more than a $500 increase, correct?
Right.
Do I need to reframe that, clarify that motion, or?
No. He's just asking a question to make sure that we understand that that 3% will go into those positions at the police department.
So that would be their starting position then, starting pay. But then how is that gonna be fair to somebody that just started day 1 opposed to somebody that's been there for 2 years or 1 year?
I mean, we got 0 to 2 years, so that's the recommendation.
Chief, what's your thoughts?
Sir?
What's your thoughts?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. One of the reasons why that's in place is to have a step. Right now, we got people that have been there 5 and 6 years, and they're all making the same thing. So with their 2-year mark, then they know after they get to their 3rd year, they're going to get a raise, and after their 6th year, they're going to get a raise. And it's just a way of trying to do retention.
Right.
And so you don't feel worried that the guy that's been here for 18 months will be making the same thing as somebody just out of the academy?
Well, you got people that's been here 6 years making the same that people have been here a year.
I'm just
So,
asking you.
yeah, and I'm not being funny, but I'm just trying to
Yeah,
make some
That's
difference
just,
between.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
just part of it.
So you said 40,000, no, that would be the starting position, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Recruit,
what if
never
we
been to
start-
the academy.
So we start the ones that hadn't been at the academy.
Yes, sir.
So they start at 40,000.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now anybody that's already hired, they'll get the 3% raise. But if they being just hired, then they'll start at 40,000.
Yes, sir.
Does that sound right?
Because they're getting the 3%, yes.
Right, because they're getting the 3%.
Yeah,
But if
everybody-
somebody
that's-
just
yeah,
not
just moving that
starting,
position up so
Just
that we
if
can
anybody in the
hopefully
future's
recruit more people.
hired,
right,
that's what
anybody
they
in
would
the future
start
hired,
at.
they'll start at 40,000.
Yes.
Right.
gets hired next week.
Right.
Yeah, he's taking.
So if the guy gets hired next week, then he'll start at 40,000. Right. So that's what we saying, that position is gonna be 40,000.
Yes, sir.
And the ones that's already hired, they get a 3% increase now. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
So
The
that-
board see fit.
So
Right,
police officer one really doesn't have any impact on the budget.
right. Okay. As long as we understand, then, PO2 will be 41.5 to 43.5. So, correct?
Correct.
And that's more than 3%, so it ought to be, they're not seeing an extra 3.
So they won't see an extra 3, right? Okay. And then PO3, 3 to 6 will go to 45.
Correct.
So therefore, these positions right here, with the 3%, well, you automatically giving them a raise already, so they wouldn't get the 3%.
Correct.
Right. I just want to make sure we all on the same page
Yeah.
and everybody understands.
Mr. Jim, have you and Ms. Garrett, I mean, I don't know if you broke down every department, if we do this, so you can keep us to where we at, so we can know where we at now, what we got left. If we do this, are you guys keeping up with that?
So for example, a police officer, I'm not sure who falls into PO1 versus PO2 versus PO3. So depending on how they break out, so for example, PO2 is going up $2,000. So you would have to, if there's 10 of them, that's, you're using $20,000 of the free money yet to, if we're not giving them the 3%. And I'm not quite sure, on PO3 it says increase to 45, but I'm not sure where we're starting at there.
It's 40. It's a little bit more than like 41.6.
41.5.
So
41.5.
41.5.
when I originally looked at that proposal, I believe the cost ends up being a couple $100,000. So if you do the police department step, then you're out of money.
That's what I wanna know. Now you know where we at. Clearly.
Is it the same for reserve to PO4s? If you don't include the sergeants, the lieutenants, the captains, assistants?
Yeah, I've got everything. Every layer.
I was under the impression that captains and above weren't going to be included.
Right, they would get the 3%.
That's why I was asking.
Yes,
Is it the same if you didn't include those?
yes. That one was what was proposed, but captains and everything below, lieutenants and below, we're going to get the raise, and captains and above, we're going to do the 3%.
Right, so that wouldn't be $200,000.
I'm just saying captain's going from 65 to 70, and assistant chief's going from 72.
No, we said
No, they're
3%
saying
on
not, you
them.
don't use those.
So none of that's gonna happen,
No.
No,
okay?
we worry about just the patrol, I'm worried about just the patrol.
So the part-time reserve patrol officers 4 sergeants and lieutenants, 28, 40, 140. That uses up about $120,000 at lieutenant and below.
So we going, PO 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the step level. On step pay. Correct?
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking to Mr. Jim.
PO 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the step level.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
And sergeants and lieutenants, right?
No, just PO 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay, so,
They're taken care of by the 3%, the others
Right.
are.
all right, I'm confused. So I thought that you were gonna, I thought that it was said that captains and above 3%.
3%.
Everything below lieutenants, sergeants, and patrolmen, you're gonna put them in there. But what you're saying is we just wanna take care of the patrolmen this year.
1, 2, 3, and 4, yeah.
That's it, that's all.
And sergeants and above will get 3%.
Everybody else get 3%.
I need to take care of my guys. I mean, we're losing officers, and if that's what it takes, then, we gotta make some sacrifices. And that's one of the sacrifices we have to make, but we need to retain our officers. And that's getting these guys up to a compatible salary for agencies around here is what we're really, now, our sergeants work hard, our captains work hard, our lieutenants work hard, but we might just have to revisit it later.
We give them the 3% now, and then we revisit it, next year.
So if you just go, PO 1 to PO 4 plus the part-time reserve, I'm not quite sure, are you including the narcotic officers, investigators, and corporals?
Everybody else get 3%, just
That's the PO
1, 2,
fours.
3, and 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
We go with the step pay. And then everybody else get 3%.
I believe that costs about 74, 18, about $92,000 for that.
You
So
need
we
that
need a motion?
So we can knock this off? You
So
need that
moved.
motion?
Yeah.
We have a motion, yes.
I just got a question. I didn't hear about the part-time salary. Is it gonna go from the 1320 to 15? Now, just so the board understands, when you're a part-time certified officer, if you only have part-time certification, we got information from the state, they're only allowed to make $20,075 a month. So, that's
1,000 what?
not 20,000, 2,000. I'm sorry.
A year.
No, $2,075 a month. I'm sorry.
So they'll still well below that.
All right, so.
We have a
Mr.
motion.
Mayor made a motion.
Yes, sir.
The motion is to,
Do the increases on PO 1, 2, 3, and 4,
And part-time?
and part,
and part-time.
Okay,
Police
yeah,
department.
that's about 92,000.
92,000. Do we have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, council.
So the good news there is that's almost a push with the overall cost of the city planner.
Okay.
Okay, so at this point in time, you're still back to about,
Still have about $200,000.
All right, well, let's tackle that monster real quick.
You know what I mean?
So 200K is about the total we have left to work with.
Office 365, is this we gotta have?
Yes, sir.
All right, we gotta have it, we gotta have the computers and the software.
You gotta have the, Office 365. We
So
can-
Office 365 is in the budget.
It's in the
Yeah,
budget.
it's in
Oh, it's already in
It's
there,
already-
and the software to run it.
Yes, sir.
Did you read
That's
your
in the
memo?
budget.
I've
She-
read
I-
any memos, I was just making clear.
Yes, sir. It is in, but what is not in is the software for the crime lab, and we absolutely must have it. It's 108,000.
So, okay, so, say that again?
The software for the crime lab, we have to have it, and it's 108,000.
And it's not, in-
And what did
And it's
we,
not in the budget.
It's
yet.
not in the budget.
The
the
100,000.
365,
it was
That's
already,
No,
already in.
that's in
and
the
how much
budget.
was that?
100.
100,000.
I make a motion that we give the software to the crime lab.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the crime lab to receive the money for 108,000 for the software. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hands. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Merry Christmas, Claudette.
Happy New Year.
Happy Kwanzaa,
Now we just gotta
St.
get,
Patrick's Day, all of it.
now we just gotta get your building fixed so it don't get wet. And we just wasted 100,000.
All right, any must-haves, Ms. Garrett?
So what's our number now, Jim?
92.
Right down about 92,000.
92.
Okay.
Here comes the-
I love math, man. Love it.
Okay, Ms. Rogina, you wanted to, create a position, correct?
Correct.
What are you willing to give up for this position?
I really don't have anything to give up, but I guess if I have to give up something,
Well, you got a couple part-time positions that you haven't hired
right.
in the last 2 years.
I have one full-time maintenance tech
Right.
and a couple of part-time positions to give up.
So if we did away with the couple part-time positions, so you can create this position, what would that do?
Question for you, and I don't know the answer to this. The hotel fund that we have that we use to remodel the trotter, can that be used for payroll in the trotter also?
No.
No,
No.
it can only be used for what it's being used.
Maintenance and upkeep.
I can.
So the 2 positions, you would be willing to
Can you do that?
cut those and hire that full-time person?
I'm just gonna be honest with you, I need another part-time person.
Well, you still have a part-time person that you
One,
still have one, right?
I'm willing.
Because you already have 2 that you hadn't hired for. You
Right.
already have 1, so you'll keep that one and do away with the other 2.
I can do it.
You can do that?
Can I eventually get them back?
Yeah,
What's that?
may not get that.
Later years, can I get them back?
I will revisit it next year.
What are the 2 part-times listed at?
15,
600. 15,600.
yeah, 15.
So that's,
Well, actually, right now, they're at 13,000. They're at 13,000 right now,
Go
so
up
that's
15.
26,000 for 2 part-time.
and the new full-time's gonna be what?
Her request is for 42,000.
42.
She wants 40.
So we don't need them but 6,000 more.
That's 60, yeah.
So you need pretty much $1,600, $16,000.
16,000.
Yeah.
Make a motion that we put $16,000 in the trotter and create whatever that position is.
Does that work, Jim? We have 2 part-times for around 30, and she wants to hire 1 full-time for 40.
There are current
Whatever it works.
vacancies,
Yes,
No, but yes.
Yes, they're
Yeah.
current
so
vacancies.
we eliminate 2 part-time,
Right.
at 13,000 each.
and then add the office manager.
You have to add
42.
16,000 to that.
So you need 16,000.
What's that?
You need 16,000.
Correct.
The part-times are at 30, so I need, what are the part-time maintenance now?
But with the part-time, you don't have benefits.
26, she needs 42, so I need 16,000. So we take 16,000 out of the, what, the 92 that's left?
Jim, Jackie made a good point, the full-time now gets benefits when 2 part-times didn't, right?
Correct.
Correct.
So, yeah, so that 42 will actually be,
47, 44, 45.
it's more than that,
For real?
yeah,
Yeah.
30%. It's gonna be about 54,600 total expense.
So that's
I
what,
mean,
30,000.
drop your starting salary a little bit.
How'd you come up with the salary?
So you
How'd you come up with the salary for that?
I mean, if you look at other office managers around in various convention centers, that's still under the, that position. But 42 is less than most convention centers, office managers.
What else next we gotta do? We need to go around. You can change my motion to that. Whatever it is, it'll get her office manager.
So, okay, so if we're talking 54, and we're taking 26, what was that, 38? 38 from 92, is that right?
Yes.
$28,000.
Yes,
When you
yes.
did the 16, you were basing it on 42.
Yes.
38. So we're down to about 54,000. 54,000 you have left.
So we'll take that from the 92. All right, we have a motion from Councilman Beard to create the office manager position with the Trotter. And I think, was there a second from Councilman Jones?
And that's to remove the other two positions.
And also remove the two part-time positions that are currently there. That should get everything in it, in the motion?
Yep.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Ready to see those conferences that you were talking about?
There you go, get 'em.
Yes, ma'am.
If no discussion, all in favor, please raise your right hands. All opposed, same side, motion carries. Thank you, council.
Can I ask a question while I'm
Sure.
up here? As far as the cleaning, I think Mr. Council Turnage, we talked about the cleaning, and if I could take cleaning out of hotel, motel, 2%, is that allowed?
The local and private bill says for maintenance and upkeep, and I don't think they mean sweeping and mopping as maintenance. I understand your point, and maybe I could say that it is. But I've always taken it to mean, like preventive
Upgrades.
working on repairs and.
But we can dig into it deeper and find out.
And one other thing, while Regina didn't have anybody that could take over, did we have succession planning? I mean, this is not budget, but do we have that in other departments?
Of course not, no.
Okay. We need to think about that.
Everybody should, but
Mr. Casey, what up? Did we call your name?
I know, I'm trying to get it before y'all deplete all this.
Before we get all the way,
Give all this away.
you already prayed.
Yes,
I want to do it again.
there you go, Chip.
Okay, so where are we now on this, that's how much money we have? $38,000.
Left?
Yep.
Ah,
And congratulations on your tractor.
Thank you.
I thought we had 92,
Well, you took the
You
54 out.
took the 52.
but we took 30 from what we already had.
You had to put the 28.
I thought we eliminated 2 positions, that's 30,000.
He needs a lot.
So you'll be adding, you'll be taking just 24,000, 20, whatever. If you said 30,000 taken out,
That's right, because
54, then
he
you're only
found
taking
some
24.
money in the other two positions. Because it took 28 to get it.
Should have, give or take 68. Give or take.
64. Back up to 64K.
Back up to 64.
Yep. Good catch.
Before Casey starts, I want to bring up something because I think it's important. Jamie and I went through and looked at, and I think we can afford some of the equipment if we buy it, if the council will approve to buy it in the next 2 weeks before the end of the year. I think we have enough money some money that we can move around.
To do what?
To take care of the garage equipment
Good.
that Willie Langford asked for.
Good job.
I think we have enough for the fire department equipment,
Okay.
which is the 18,000 medical kits and 26,000 in vehicle equipment parts. And probably the 12,000 for the NOLA cameras that the police department's asking for.
Great.
So we can do that in this year's budget.
Yeah, 2023
left over.
budget.
Yeah, that'll come out of this year's budget, but we need to make those purchases.
Are they on state contract?
You need a purchase order from
I
those.
think they're all, I
I
think
don't
they'll
know
all
about the
be,
NOLA cans.
they'll all have to be on
No,
state contract.
probably aren't.
Probably aren't, but that's probably the better deal anyway.
And then do we need an amendment to the budget?
Well, we'll do that
After we have.
after all of the dust settles on this, if you approve that.
So that was taken care of, what now?
The
Think
garage
The
equipment,
garage equipment?
Yeah.
the
Okay.
fire
All of
department,
it?
All of it.
Okay.
the fire department's,
Fire
medical
department?
kit, the
Equipment?
18,000 and the 26,000.
Okay.
And the NOLA cameras for 12,000 for the police department.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to use the surplus money in the 2023 budget to purchase items requested, equipment requests in the garage, the fire department, and the police department. You have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hand. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council.
Now, that
Now, we got 64.
Now, what we just did though, that's coming out of the overall budget, that's coming out of their budget that they had in the previous year.
What's that?
The equipment, like the fire department, that's coming out of their previous budget, and the other one is coming out of the garage previous budget,
No, some of it.
or it's coming out of everybody's
Yeah.
budget.
It's actually coming out of what's
Surplus,
remaining
right,
in my
that's what I'm
special
saying.
projects.
Yeah. So if we wanted to buy the backhoe for parking and recreation, since they had extra in their budget still, would that be enough to come out of that?
I'll tell you,
We would have enough to come out of that?
Yes.
I'll tell you in a second here, for sure. 350.
The backhoe and the sprayer for growth regulation, that's 46,000.
Yeah, I think we can find it in there.
Think,
I think we can find it in there. Yeah, it's,
you got it? Okay.
we have some,
I make a motion that we get that equipment.
for how much?
46.
That's a line item amendment, or this is going into the new budget?
This would be from the 2023
This will be another budget amendment, but,
Budget amendment.
yeah,
coming from Parks and Rec's budget.
Yes. So 46.
for 40,
Yeah.
46, did you?
Position.
Yeah, 46.
Yeah, 40.
That's for the sprayer
And the
regulator
What's that?
and the backhoe.
Do they actually have enough
No,
work
it was
for the
for his,
backhoe?
backhoe
Wouldn't
or
that be
whatever, but
something
he
that
can't.
would?
Greg?
Left in the budget.
What's the question?
She said, do they have enough work?
But it need a backhoe.
That you need a dedicated backhoe for the park?
Yes, because it's necessary because Casey can't get to me. Casey has his own hands filled. And like I said, we're in line waiting until he can get to us.
And you have a backhoe operator?
Yes, I have a backhoe operator, we actually have a backhoe, but it doesn't work all the time.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I make a motion that we take that 46,000 out of his budget.
Second.
We have a motion to use 46,000 out of the current budget, 2023 budget of Parks and Rec, to use to purchase the equipment requested.
Now, I just
Which
want
is a
to,
backhoe.
everyone needs to understand,
Backhoe
we need to
and
have
sprayer for
at
growth.
least purchase orders. We may not get delivery of equipment, but we need to have it in the
Right.
system as a purchase by year end, so that we can carry those purchases out of the 2023 budget.
Do y'all understand that out there? Because we do.
If you don't get it in,
Year
you're
end
not
is
getting it.
September 30,
Yeah.
not December 31.
Yeah, it's like chop chop.
So they have to get you a purchase order,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah, they have to
Okay,
get
so
a
y'all need
purchase
to get them a
order.
purchase order
And
for
remember,
what we just approved. All of
you don't have to bid it
You
if
too.
it's on state contract. And it's under
Leave
75,000.
and go into my office.
Over 75,000, I think you're okay on it.
I would already been gone.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, council.
And all this equipment that we're replacing, does it ever get sold? What's the process there?
Scrap
We're
metal.
working on that, not scrap metal, but we're working on, we have to actually go through an auction, but right now it is just extremely too hot to actually go into Maxim Medical to do the things that we would need the auctioneer to do. But, we plan to do that, once we get later in the fall.
There's a statute on how to dispose of surplus personal property, and it's the traffic statute.
Then y'all will eventually have to vote on it before we do.
But apparently we got a lot of stuff that needs to be
Yes.
auctioned back off. Okay.
Where are we at? We talked about it last budget. We're getting all of this equipment. We're buying all of this new stuff. Where are we with getting our inventory for everything we got? We keep getting stuff, but I don't see no inventory yet of what we got on hand, what we still got. We need that done.
Yeah.
You got it? Yes. Okay, can I get with you and look at this?
Mr. Bush, I guess this is your last
64K.
shot at trying to get something. I'm sure somebody else gonna jump up there after you, but.
He already got
We done about depleted this, but, I'm gonna try, here we go. Most of the items that I was requesting you all, I'll start with my skill first, people, which, I'm trying to take, I'm taking my concrete,
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, we can, I'm taking, my concrete finisher, my concrete finisher position, and trying to spread this between the guys, my other skilled, employees that I'm trying to bring up to a reasonable pay to keep, as Chief stated, to try to keep them on board. As you know, we've been losing, guys left and right to different places. But I have, which the concrete finished position was $30,596.80. I have, $30,596.80. I had 11, guys, but now I'm down to 10, for trying to get them their increase, to bring them up at least together or to keep their pay up there so we won't be losing these. I'm talking about operators, sweeper drivers, and skilled folks like that, concrete guys. So that trying to take the place of trying to put any other burden on the city, or you all were trying to find some money for those positions. So I do have that position open for that. Only thing I don't have covered, like I said, the rest of this stuff on here I need it. But I realize that, you know, it's more than just my department, and I know that you all have purchased a couple of pieces of equipment for this year that I'm pleased, and I thank you for. So, but I am trying to do some cosmetic stuff to my department down there. You all ride down through there and see stuff, and it doesn't look up to par. If you ride into the county building down there, it looks nice. So I'm trying to do some cosmetics with that. And I'm asking for $30,000 just to add to that budget to try to get that finished.
Before we get into that, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
I was talking to some people, in some last second hearings, and they was talking about your boom truck. Is it any way possible that we can change that, just your boom truck driver from an equipment operator to a heavy equipment operator? Simply because how because I think just now, the only thing they gotta have is a CDL. Just to drive, but you got to actually get out and use the machine.
Yes.
So is that actually something that can be changed, because you need a little bit more? I mean, I'm not saying that they're tearing up the boom trucks because they don't know how to use them, but they might be tearing up the boom trucks because they don't know how to use them.
Councilman, with that, I'm not saying they're tearing up the boom trucks with these. I can say because the two boom trucks that we have now, they're worn out. Sure, I mean, the operators that we have, we bring in operators and train them on a boom truck because as a truck driver with CDLs, but that's the only other options we have. The thing where we've been getting is, we'll get someone trained, and then the county or whatever pulls them with a little bit more money. These
now, how
guys,
much the county starting off their boom truck, like 17?
yes.
But we starting off just a regular person at 15, but your heavy equipment starting off at 1784,
No.
ain't it?
We starting off with what our equipment operator?
Yeah.
Yes, at 15.
And then your heavy equipment at 1784.
Yes.
So if you move boom truck drivers to heavy equipment, they'll be making the same thing as the county, right?
They would. They
But
would.
then you have one guy to come back after he had left because he didn't like all the riding that he was doing out in the county.
And he didn't have as good an insurance.
You know what I'm saying? And you going from, I don't know, Caledonia to New Hope, right here in the city, he locally. You see what I'm saying? So that's a big difference right there where we paying these guys here. And you have to take all of that, I'm sure, well, I take that into consideration. The less travel time that you riding out here every day.
I do too, see, Council, Meekin, but one of the reasons is that, the one that left, we've been talking, and me trying to get him back to us, cause we was at a point that we didn't have no operators for his boom trucks. Me talking to him and persuading him to come back to us. And yes, you know, you add in the fact of him have to travel to, this was Caledonia area. It takes, but some of the guys doesn't see it. I mean, they still rather take that extra pay and go.
I don't think we need to get into no bidding war.
Right.
With nobody.
And that's true.
I've
But
seen enough of it from PD and the sheriff. We getting in bidding wars there, and people now want to. In other words, I'm just putting it out there. Like, in other words, you handcuffing me. You forcing me to do something, or the council to do something that we really ain't looking at that we want to do, because we want to keep up with them. And I don't think we need to get into that.
But here's the thing, Councilman. I mean, we don't need you saying don't get into it, but the fact of the matter is that it's here. That's what's happening. I mean, if you continue not paying these guys at least up to some of the pay, and that's not just happening here. That's everywhere. I mean, somebody's gonna go somewhere else looking for more money. It's not handcuffing us. It's just trying to get us to a place that we can keep guys that's with us and that we know that deserving of the pay. Public Works been underpaid for the longest. And I appreciate what you all have done already for Public Works, but this is me trying to help out my guys in a way that even alleviating a position, just to try to help, you know, make sure that this works and not put a burden on the mayor and the county. You all.
So, you say you want to alleviate
A concrete finisher position.
concrete finisher. So, eliminate, yeah.
Yeah, eliminate.
I'm saying what you said.
I'm sorry. Man.
So Jim, by him doing that, or Jamie, by him doing that, would that take care of the increases that he want to increase?
Yeah.
It will? So we're not spending any more money, we just,
However, concrete finisher, that's good.
what's that?
You can't ask for.
Right, I understand that, that's what I'm saying, though, that's gonna take care of, that's what he wants to do in your department, right?
Yes.
The numbers work.
The numbers work, okay. So,
So what he's deleting how many people?
Just one.
One concrete finisher.
right, and he dividing that money up between the rest of them to get him a raise.
I thought we were doing 3% for them.
No, on this,
Not for those,
Not
not
on
for the
these.
ones that I'm asking for a
they
raise.
wouldn't get the 3%,
increase.
they'll just go to these positions right here.
To some skill positions.
Adding that eliminated position salary to where?
To, the ones that's making my skill positions.
How? That's just 30,000.
Plus your
Yes.
benefits.
I'm saying if you got these people going up $2,000 and $3,000 and $4,000, that's 30,000 been gone.
How many concrete
Well, it
people
will
will
take
that
care
leave?
of it next year, because you're still not hiring that person back. So
three,
it still would
four.
take care of it. Right.
Still have 4 people
Yes.
doing concrete?
Right. So Jamie and Jim, that's gonna take care of what he wants to do.
No, this is concrete finish.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes, okay. So I make a motion that we allow him to make those changes. Right.
So we have a motion to allow the Director of Public Works to eliminate one position in concrete to spread amongst the skilled labor.
Right.
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, one question, Mr. Bush. So what we gonna tell our grass cutters? The guys that out here in this hot sun every day working and busting their balls out here. What we gonna tell them?
The same thing I told.
We ain't giving them a dime.
Hold on. We gave them 3%, but let me tell you, the same thing I told them when I told my skill guys that I'm working for the guys that haven't got anything, which was the laborers, for a while. So, that's the thing. I mean, here's the thing. You work with me. They work with me now. The skilled people work with me. So that's why I'm up here fighting for them now.
Well, I'm just telling you like this. I got a problem when we could keep getting up here raises and we ain't doing nothing down here.
Clearly.
I have a problem with every department out here that does this. Come in here requesting money and we ain't doing nothing for the people at the very bottom. The very bottom. We more concerned about our skilled people, look like to me, than we are about the people out here that's sweating every day, getting behind some of these jobs.
But we are.
You are.
Dealing
We
with
are.
snakes.
You have. My skill guys, that's what they dealing with. They the one digging the ditches, they the one blowing out these pipes, they the one out here doing all this extra concrete that's still in the hot sun. I mean, I work for I push for the laborers with you all, and y'all did that back then. So this is a give take. But then again, you are still giving them a 3% raise.
I didn't say what we doing, Mr. Bush.
Right.
I said from a department head
Okay,
standpoint.
and they
if
understand.
you
They
represent-
understand what I've been doing for them.
They
This
understand.
is not just something that I came up here, bring before you all. This is something I talked to them before I even come up here.
Vice Mayor Mickens, we still got some money left, so if you wanna get them guys at the bottom of the raise, let's do it.
From the 64,000?
Do also, do that if you got a council meeting, make that motion.
All right, we're in discussion on this particular motion. Is there any more discussion on this one? All in favor, raise your right hand.
Which one is this?
To spread the money.
Yeah,
Take his money from one position and spread it to the,
Yeah. Did everybody vote?
yes.
Motion carries. Thank you, council.
We're sitting here trying to spend $64,000. We've got a roof that's leaking. Can we not dump 64,000 at least? Try to get that ball rolling, try to save some equipment?
No, we need to figure out a way to fix that roof.
On what,
Yes, they voted on the paper, so you can.
they waited, you got the pay raise, but, there's another one in there I was talking about, my, cosmetics, towards that $30,000.
Can we get with the school system or carpentry department and give them a project to come and paint the building? That's something you ain't never tried?
I think Ms. Bush needs to sit down.
Right.
Bush got enough.
We got about $1 billion this year.
We just gonna have to live with the look for another year maybe.
Ain't no paint left from East Columbus. You
We'll
paint
look
purple
for
and
some
gold.
grant money to maybe help with that. Yeah. Okay, anything
I mean,
else?
No, that's it.
All right, thank you.
That's something that I came up with.
Thank you. All right, so we got 64K.
All right, I'm gonna call Chief.
Well, y'all be writing checks.
We have adjusted, scale for the police. And essentially what Casey, actually doing is adjust the scale for the, skilled laborers. We have two positions in the fire department, that the scales were not just for last year, because the assistant, chief position, it wasn't filled last year. And so it wasn't adjusted. And then the chief wasn't, adjusted because, the chief was promoted next year. But, at the rate that we have now, the chief of training, and if, you all do select an assistant chief, they will be making the same thing. So I'm asking you to adjust the assistant chief and the fire chief salaries.
So the assistant chief, we still don't have one, right?
No.
We do not.
And, do we plan on getting one?
We definitely do. The process has been to fill the staff positions. This board voted to move a new fire marshal. This board moved to appoint a new chief of training. We've got to replace a new life and safety officer, which I'll begin with Ms. Mitchell to put in the advertisement for this week. And then the next step would be the assistant chief.
How long have you been in the chief position now, chief?
Since June of last year,
So from how much time it went by between June of last year up until now?
about a year and a half.
So that's a year and a half, 18 months. and we ain't came up with assistant chief yet. So I'm saying, what I'm hearing is, all of these other positions that you did were more important than putting an assistant chief here.
They were so important that I worked 60 hours a week.
I don't see that. How I'm hearing Miss Regina talking now, she need office help in her office, okay? I'm hearing other department head, Miss Gary, telling me she need an assistant to help her out. But where I'm hearing you from, the chief hired, he got 2 chiefs over there in PD to help him out. I see Mr. Bush got Mr. Coleman to help him out, but yet I don't see you getting nobody there to help you.
Because I'm extraordinary. And I'll work my ass off. As I said, I work 60 hours a week.
Extraordinary, however you want to put it, we need assistant chief, assistant fire chief here.
I agree.
Okay, so when you gonna bring us somebody for that? They're going somewhere else, but when this gonna be another year from now, another 6 months, another 2 years?
As I said, the fire and life safety educator position needs to be
No,
filled.
that's not what I asked. Answer my
And
question.
once I fill the fire and life safety educator position,
What time frame are we on for getting an assistant chief? That's what I'm asking you.
what time frame? As soon as we get a life safety educator, we'll begin advertising for assistant chief.
So your head mean hard. Okay, we just have to go another route then, chief. Thank you.
All right, so Chief, you're asking for basically 8,000 in one position and 9,000 for another. Is that
That's correct.
17,000?
And let this be
No, it's
noted.
not plus, they already get the benefits.
No, just, we're just right now just discussing the assistant, fire chief and the fire chief right now.
Let this be noted that the council
You can do that.
voted on to give the fire chief a raise that he turned down himself last year. Let it be noted now that we didn't exclude him from getting a raise. We put a raise in there for him. He the one that turned it down for his employee, not the council.
Yes, you're correct, he turned it down, so it could be spread, through for his employees. But I'm saying now, we have to adjust the scale because it's not right. You cannot have the chief of training and the assistant chief making the same thing.
So this $17,000 that he's asking, does that solve that problem?
Yes, sir.
I make a motion that we give the chief the 17,000 to adjust the scale on the fire department.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Yes. So we're not even worried about the administrative assistant, because that's
I'ma
gonna be
let the-
another.
No, that's what I was speaking on, I'm gonna let the chief speak on that.
I was not asking for any money for a fire chief. I'm strictly asking for the administrative assistant to be raised and the assistant chief pay to be raised.
So why we doing it?
So you're saying you're not asking for it?
I didn't ask for it then, I'm not asking for it now.
So
I
you
asked
comfortable?
for it,
I am.
Yeah,
I asked for it.
Miss COO asked for it, for an adjustment. I'm not asking for that.
Now, you saying that, I know Jamie's saying that the chief of training and the assistant chief can't make the same thing, why not?
Because it's different, levels of work, different level of skill.
I mean, I understand that, but I'm just saying though,
That would be the equivalent of your captain of police and your assistant chief making the same, and they do not.
So with the 3%, you still would be going up a couple $1,000s though. So would you be comfortable with the 3% and then we revisit it next year so you can still take care of your people under you?
You referring to my position?
Yeah, since you didn't ask for it, I mean, you technically getting 3%.
Again, I'm more than comfortable with that.
I make a substitute motion that we keep the fire chief at 3% and give the 8,000 increase to the assistant fire chief.
The fact that the man is not wanting to take money because he's looking after his other people doesn't mean he doesn't deserve that money.
He's getting 3%. He said he's fine with it till next year.
Wow.
So he just said he's extraordinarily looking and seeking help for his people beneath him.
So what is your
well, first of all, the assistant fire chief ain't gonna cost us 68 right now anyway because we don't
Because
have one.
that position is not.
So we just giving a raise just to give it to him, but it still ain't gonna cost us 68,000 this year anyway.
It will not.
Right.
I take
It
my
may
motion
be
back.
3 months
Thank you.
before you get, before you get one, or it may be 6 months before you get one. And if it is, then that's gonna be 6 months worth of pay that's not gonna be included.
That's correct, Council.
I took my motion back.
Thank you, Council. I'm only asking for the administrative assistant because she did not receive a raise in the 3% because she had been here less than a year. And that raise is actually just putting her equal with what a entry-level firefighter makes.
So technically, you
base
need
salary.
25,000, not 18.
I just need the $9,000 raise for the administrative assistant. And then we're asking for the, I believe Ms. Garrett, the $8,000 raise again for the assistant chief.
And I'm asking for the 9,000 for the fire chief.
So that's 25K.
All right,
That's
so-
what I was getting at. Don't separate, keep them together.
So is our motion to give a 25K increase to the fire department for the
Salaries.
salaries that were just listed?
That's my motion.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second? Have a second from Councilwoman DeChico. Any more discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hands. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Ms. Garrett. Thank you, Councilwoman DeChico. I know you've got to get going.
Chief already been up there. Who wants to move?
So we're still working for the 64K, correct?
Well, we just took 25 out of it, didn't we?
25 out of it, yes, so.
So we're down to 40.
Well, I think we need to. We ain't voting on this today, obviously, because we need to see this in black and white.
Right.
You need to go put it in the system and do all that stuff before we
Yeah,
vote
I
on
agree.
it. It may not even be what I'm thinking of. We might need to stop here.
Should we stop here? Jim?
Need a little bit to play with.
Hey, Jim, question, Jamie, question, Ms. Pat, question. Council's asking, the question is that we made these votes today, and y'all need to go back and get all this in black and white for us. So probably might be good to leave some little wiggle room here with this rest of the money that was, because you're saying, what, 40K left maybe? Just to make sure.
And give them time to check them figures too.
Yeah.
Make
That's
sure
what we
we got
saying.
that much left.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to stop right there.
And so, hold on, don't leave me yet. So Thursday is probably when we're gonna have to try to come back together.
We'll do one more, because this is a schedule as well.
This is
And
what?
and this is the last scale, but this is a scale.
What's the scale?
Crime level.
How much is it? Is it over 40,000?
The council has spoken, man. I mean, we said-
What are y'all asking for? I'm sorry.
Wait.
It's about 25K.
Is it,
We need to make sure first, though. before we-
let us make sure that we got everything else in place, and if we need to revisit it, is that what y'all would like to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Council would like to go, stop where we are, we'll revisit it once we make sure all this is in place. We're going to come back Thursday to finish the budget. All right? With that, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Can I get anything? Mayor, when we met a while back, we were talking about the salaries that I had in my budget that were kind of like spread out over the salary budget part when we met in the conference room. And then my seasonal workers, I had 6, and now they've been cut back to 3, and I need those seasonal workers. And then I wanted to point out to the mayor and the council for the contract workers that we have. You know, I said that you allocate me $5,000, but last year it was 22, and it's always in the red. And I was trying to find out when we'll be able to get it out of the red. And my last question was on the refunds. We have to give those people their $150 refunds back. However, there's no line item to give it back to them. So I was trying to see if there's a way that we could fix that.
Jim, is the money in his budget that he's asking about? He just needs to get on the right line items, correct?
The new budget will allocate his revenue towards his department.
But what, are you asking for 2023 or 2024?
Well, I'm asking for 2024 because 2023 is almost gone, but the same amount is there. I mean, it's like for the contract workers, I know that it's 5,000 allocated. However, we've already spent 22. And it's like with the 5,000 in a few months, that money is gone.
Jamie, can y'all get together with Greg and get that figured out before Thursday, please?
I'm not gonna,
Huh?
I'm not gonna talk about it.
You're not gonna talk about it? To him or to us?
Not the contract workers.
I'm sorry?
Not the contract workers.
They trying to go up to 25.
You're not gonna talk to them about it. So what does that mean?
Because the girl won't go to 25 because they don't get it last.
I think you just need, we've talked about this before.
Well, obviously it's not clear.
I don't know that we have talked to him about it.
They believe so.
The contract
They
was-
won't go up to 25. James.
It's a wage and hour issue. We need to talk about it. We'll talk about it. Thanks. We're adjourned.
Their 12,000 is already in.